It's Holy Saturday. Nice day. 60 degrees. Cloudy. But it was, it's a nice temperature. Today we'll go to a evening service, which will be many readings, and in those readings we'll hear about the history of God's people, all the way up to Jesus's birth and then Jesus's death and resurrection. And the big phrase on Sunday and this evening will be, "He is risen." And that changes everything. That's the thing. He is risen. This is what we're celebrating. Jesus died for our sins, and he rose. There should be no mistake that there was a Jesus, and only the most irreparable historian would try to deny that. I don't know if that's a word. Everyone knows there was a Jesus. Everyone knows he walked the earth. And a couple of thousand people know that he rose from the dead. Those people who witnessed it. His 12 closest friends. And each of them, rather than deny it, died a torturous death, rather than denying Christ risen. They got nothing. They got no money. They got no fame. They got no power, no pleasures. All they got was pain for refusing to deny what they saw. And for that, they did get immortality with Jesus and God in heaven, with God in heaven. So they did get something. And what am I looking at down here? I saw this earlier from a distance. What in the world is this? Oh, okay. Oh, that's a, is that crabapple? Blooming? I don't know what that is. Anyway, I can see it from a distance. So, so what I was thinking about in the middle of the night, I woke up and was thinking about this. Why doesn't the world seem to get this? What is it that the world is refusing to recognize this reality? Jesus walked the earth, everybody knows it, and all these people saw him alive after death. Does that not tell you he's someone different than every other human? And wouldn't that for you, it certainly does for me, bring me to the realization that he's probably who he said he was, the Son of God. I won't rise from the dead, at least not immediately after death. You won't. No one we know will, but Jesus did. That makes him something different, someone different. And for the last 2,000 years of Christianity, that's been what we've all recognized, that Jesus was someone different. So I don't understand how it's well-known fact that Jesus walked the earth. It's well-known fact that there are claims that he rose from the dead. If this is the case, then everyone should be Christian. Everyone should be Catholic. Because Jesus started one church. On this rock I'll build my church, on Peter. My church, not my denominations, not my multiple 62,000 denominations. I'll build my church, he said. So, yeah, I don't understand. If an atheist says he doesn't believe in God, but someone rose from the dead, what do they think he is? What's their explanation? And the Muslims say that Jesus wasn't really killed on the cross. It was someone else. It looked like Jesus. It wasn't. And all those different times, people were fooled. Does that make sense? My Islamic friends, does that make sense? My Muslim friends? So you say Jesus wasn't on the cross, and yet afterwards, other people saw Jesus alive, and a couple of hundred saw him alive, and each time. And yet, his mother was standing there at the cross. The women that he knew well, his beloved disciple, were all there, saw him. They were all deceived about who that was. They didn't recognize their son, friend. Does that make sense? It just doesn't make any sense. So I would like to propose to the world that we would all be in a better place if we followed the Catholic faith. Not like some Catholics have, because we've had bad lay people, bad people that are Catholic, bad priests, a couple of bad popes. But what the faith teaches. If we all followed the Catholic faith, we'd be a lot better off. Forget about utopia on earth. Forget about socialism. Forget about making everyone equal. We'll all be equal in heaven. All those who make it to heaven will be equal and ecstatic. So anyway, I don't know. That's how I'm understanding it. If you have a better way to understand things, if you think that there's some flaw, even though Jewish Roman historians corroborated that there was a Jesus and that he performed miracles and that he taught in certain ways and that he was reported to have risen from the dead, even though that, along with the Gospels, who were written by people who were there and people who got the firsthand information from people who were there, it seems like Jesus is held, and because it's such a preposterous idea, I guess that's why it's held to such a higher standard. But I think it meets all the criteria of truth. And all I want is the truth. I don't care which direction, I don't care what religion it is. I just want to know the one that's true, the one that's real, the one that is started by Jesus, who I believe rose from the dead. Happy Easter.